Less than 1,000 feet from the Turkish border, the Syrian Kurdish city of Kobani, known in Arabic as Ain al-Arab, is under siege by Islamic State militants. The extremist group has captured more than 300 Kurdish villages around Kobani, sending an estimated 180,000 of the area's approximately 400,000 residents fleeing into Turkey. It is pushed to within a mile of the city's center, in spite of U.S. coalition airstrikes and fierce resistance from Kurdish militia fighters. Here's why the city is strategically important. For the Kurds, losing the city would be a major setback in their attempts to establish more autonomy in the region. They took control of Kobani and other Kurdish majority areas in northern Syria with the tacit approval of Bashar al-Assad in the chaos of the country's ongoing civil war, and would be unlikely to regain such control if Kobani is lost. There are also fears that Islamic State may commit genocide against Kurds still living in the city if they take over. For Turkey, the fall of Kobani would enrage an already restive Kurdish population that is pushing for military aid to the Kurds defending the city. Over a dozen people have died in recent violent protests against Turkish government inaction to help Kobani. Turkey's government is in peace negotiations with the PKK, a Marxist Kurdish independence movement whose guerrilla insurgency has claimed roughly 40,000 lives over 3 decades. The PKK's leader, Abdullah Öcalan, has said that if Kobani falls, the peace talks would come to a violent end. For Islamic State, Kobani and the Kurdish militia defending it are the only things standing between them and complete control of a roughly 70-mile stretch of the Syria-Turkey border. Despite recent efforts by Turkey to tighten security, the Turkish border remains the main entry point for money and militants joining Islamic State. Kobani would also provide the group with a staging ground for attacks against Turkey if it should want. If Islamic State did attack Turkey, a NATO member, it could draw NATO's 28 member states into the fight. A spokesman for the Kurdish militia defending Kobani said that U.S.-led coalition airstrikes against Islamic State positions on Wednesday were finally having some effect on the extremists' advance. But as Islamic State continues to pour fighters and weapons into the region, the city's fate remains uncertain.